babes. This is Ashley from Fem Intention, and I am here to get you to your next level identity, your upgrade, your true level up. And what we are going to talk about today is resistance. And I know what you're thinking, Ashley. Resistance. Why do I not put my mind on resistance? Shouldn't I be thinking about all the good things in the future and everything going right? You should. But I want to reframe the way you think about resistance. Want to know why? Because resistance is an actual gold mine. It is an indicator, it is a compass to where your biggest strengths, your biggest wins, and your biggest upgrades actually are. Now, I want you to think about that. If resistance equals upgrade, when do I know when I'm feeling resistance or when something is not aligned? I'm so glad you asked. When something isn't aligned, I personally feel it as a quick no. It's not very emotional. It just feels like a no in my body. It doesn't feel like this emotional back and forth tug of war. You're making all these excuses, you're making all these stories. When you're experiencing resistance, that's when the excuses come up. That's when the stories come up. And that's when you are having this internal struggle. For me personally, sometimes resistance can show up in getting completely nervous. Sometimes it can show up in running thoughts, anxiety. And when you think, oh, I'm experiencing anxiety, this must be bad for me. Actually, no. This is what you should be doing to get the actual upgrade. And it really is tricky to the mind because we as humans naturally have aversions to pain. But is it really pain? No, it's because your nervous system and your brain are always trying to keep homeostasis. So if you are always at this level, a certain level of happiness, a certain level of paradigm and mindset, when we try to break above what we normally have at our capacity, when we break past that capacity barrier, our mind and our body can freak them out. And it is I don't want to say frustrating. It's a part of the process. And once you learn how to really understand the process, you can really move forward. So, one, the biggest thing to do is to indicate whether you are experiencing resistance or not, which we covered earlier. Two, the next biggest thing when you are experiencing that resistance is to do your best to regulate and calm yourself down. There are several techniques that you can to regulate yourself through nervous system regulation. There are breathing techniques, breath work. There is certain tapping that you can do, such as EFT tapping. There are certain subtle movements. You can rock your body, you can ground. There are so many ways that you can ground yourself. You can even self-soothe and speak kind, loving, safe things over yourself. This will also help when you are experiencing that resistance. You want to avoid going into the parasympathetic nervous system and spiraling. So all of these things help that. And lastly, when you're experiencing that resistance, you want to go deep into yourself and really, really question, what am I resisting here? This is a good time, especially if you have gotten yourself to a certain regulated state. You can ask these questions, you can journal, you can access your subconscious mind, that inner guidance. When you are more dysregulated in your parasympathetic nervous system, it is harder to get any type of guidance or even hear anything for that matter. When we're dysregulated, it affects 4 out of our 5 senses. So, again, 2, regulation is so important. And 3, dive deep within. Really think about what is the thing you are resisting. And a lot of the times it is just because we are afraid of our own light. We are afraid of our bigness. We are afraid of that next level step. I'm going to take that in for a second. The next step, after you uncover what it is you are resisting, you can write on all of the ways that you achieving this thing and you achieving this goal is actually good for you, that it's actually your desire, and list out all the positive possibilities and outcomes that happen once you blow through this resistance. It's all a story. Every single belief we have, even if a belief that feels so big and expansive to us right now, it's just a story because there's always a level higher. There's always something that is more expansive. Every belief is a limiting belief. And if there is a belief that you have that isn't serving you at this now moment, it is controlling you. So make sure that you get those beliefs out there and you speak over those negative beliefs with a positive one, or one that feels more expansive, more coherent, more aligned with where you want to be. And once you do that, every single time you experience that resistance, you can go through those steps. And lastly, what you do is you do the thing that you are resisting. You do the thing you are resisting. And I know what you're thinking. Ashley, you don't know what it feels like to experience so much resistance. I get pains in my body. I start crying. I get anxious. My mind is racing. I have had every single symptom above that you can think of. I have had an extreme level of resistance to everything. Even starting this channel, I used to cry before even filming little TikTok videos, and yet you keep moving forward. You may need to take a break. Only you know where you're at in your capacity, but the best thing to do is to do the action. Because instead of having to speak over the old negative belief, when you do the action and you prove the old belief wrong, you do not need to spend any time rewiring the new, because your action replaced the new. The new belief is already formed. And that is the way to quantum leap. So you can do all the other steps if that's where you're at. But if you want to fast track your life, you do the action and you blow through the resistance. You don't listen to little stories in your head. You overcome the objections, or you just go straight for the action. You think about the thing that the current or old version of you would do, and you do the exact opposite. And that is how you use resistance to turn it into a gold mine. Your skills are on the other side of that resistance. The love of your life is on the other side of that resistance. All of the aliveness and happiness and bliss is on the other side of that resistance. Now, I want you guys to have an amazing rest of the day. If you are interested, you can check the link below and you can attain a free Goddess Affirmation Track, and that could help you gain more confidence and goddess energy to blow through resistance. I'm also doing one-on-one coaching packages, also in a link below, and I would love to work with high-achieving women who want to burst through their resistance to get to that next level self. Your irresistible identity upgrade starts now, and I love you. Bye.